Hey, single ladies or single moms, and for that matter, single dads. Today, we're going to be talking a little bit about how to create balance as a single parent. Now, it's been a while since I've been a single parent, but it seems like just yesterday. I remember when my oldest daughter was little, I did everything with her. She did everything with me. She went to board meetings with me. She went, I mean, everything I did, she did. Let me just say that. And can I be honest and say that my life was very much out of balance? And when we think about balance, what do we think about? When we think about, I heard a term a while back about a merger, and we always talk about a work life balance. But I'm one that don't necessarily believe in work life balance. I believe that there's a merger of the personal and professional, or the work and the life. We have to find ways to merge that. But in the midst of that, we have to create balance. Sometimes we get out of balance because we feel like we have to work to provide for our children. But what is the old saying? All work and no play make mommy or daddy a dull person, because you fall into a routine. I remember that routine all so well. Drop my daughter off at the babysitter, go to work, and at one point go to school, pick her up from the babysitter, go home, get a nap, do homework, start it over the next day. I did that 7 days a week, seriously. Well, Saturday and Sunday, I didn't go to work and go to school, but on Saturdays and Sundays, I was studying. I was cleaning house. I was doing all of those, doing grocery shopping and all of those other things that um, I needed to do in order to be a mommy, right? And so I want to talk to you a little bit today about how to create balance as a single parent. I'm going to give you 8 principles or 8 rules or 8 suggestions. Now, I'm not saying that you have to do all 8 of them. I just believe in giving you a variety of things to do, so that if you find one that resonate with you, that you say, "Oh, I can do that." So, let's talk about how to create balance. The first thing that I want to tell you is learn how to make your free time more meaningful. As I just told you, in my free time, aka Saturday and Sunday, Saturday was all day shopping for groceries or food, whatever I needed to shop for, cleaning house, and all of those other things. On Sundays, we went to church, we went home, we did laundry, we prepared for the week. That's what we did, unfortunately. Um, then on, I'm sorry, I was checking something here. And then we started it all over on Monday morning. I did that for years. And I didn't understand why I was so tired all the time. Well, I was so tired all the time because I didn't have any recreation in my life. And so when my daughter got to be maybe about 3, maybe about 3 years old, I decided that I wanted to run a marathon. And so I started training for a marathon. And what I would do is, when I got off of work, I would go pick her up from the babysitter and I would go to the YMCA. And this was after school, between classes, and all of that other stuff. Because by that time, I had gotten done with my educational program, my master's program. And so I would pick her up and I would go to the YMCA and I would train on the track. You know why that worked for me? Because the YMCA had childcare. Whoa, something that I didn't know about until one of my friends mentioned it to me. It's like, how are you going to train for a marathon? Because I started talking about, I'm going to train for this marathon. I want to run this marathon. That was my goal. That was my goal. How are you going to do that? And so after I discovered that the YMCA had childcare, that's one of the avenues that I use to make my free time more meaningful. I started running, I started working out, I started a fitness program, and all of those things. In addition to that, I found activities that worked for her in addition to the childcare when she got to be a certain age. And I'll get to that in just a second. I was able to get her into some programs that were helpful to her. So make your free time more meaningful. It's not all about just cleaning house, doing the groceries, and those other things. Sometimes the second thing I want to tell you is sometimes that you have to break the rules of parenting. We as single parents can be so structured sometimes that it becomes mundane. We become like robots. It becomes like going through the motion. When I realized when my daughter was probably 2 years old, my God, I have not had a sit down soaky bath in over 2 years because it's all about jumping in the shower, getting your body clean, washing your hair, doing whatever you have to do to get out of the house in the morning. And I enjoy soaky baths. I enjoy sitting down and hiding myself in a bathtub for an hour with bubbles. And when the water gets cold, turn it on hot and freshen it up and stay there a little bit longer. I enjoyed that. And I realized I had not done that. Sometimes you have to break the rules of parenting. Sometimes that might mean, depending on the age of your child, putting them in front of a TV for a little bit longer than they need to. They're not going to break because they watched TV a little bit longer one day. Trust me. Or giving them an iPad. Now, I am that parent that says limit screen time. Kids should not have a whole lot of freedom on iPads, on phones. I see kids sometimes that are just, this is all that they do. You know, I have my iPad in front of me, but they're fixated on an iPad all day, all night. That's not good. But if you need to break the rule of letting them stay on an iPad a little bit longer, or if they need to eat their snack in the living room just so that you can have some free time, or if you need to pull up your baby in a chair, in a car seat, in the bathroom, who said it's your rule? Break it. Whatever you need to do what you have to do. And I just use the bath analogy, but there's other rules that you may have to break in order to get some free time or to create some balance. The third thing I said the third thing. The third thing I want to tell you is to work meaningful activities into your daily routine. So remember, I said that I was training to run this marathon. So in the midst of my day, I knew that if I came home and sat down because of the fatigue that I was feeling as a single parent, a working parent, a single parent, a parent who had ministry and a whole lot of other things that I was doing at the time, I knew that if I came home and sat down, it was a wrap. So what did I do? I kept my gym bag in the trunk of my car. I had a couple of different gym bags. I would grab it on the way out of the house in the morning, throw it in the trunk of my car. So when I got off work, all I had to do was pick my daughter up from the babysitter, make their U-turn, and go to the gym. If I went home, it was a wrap. Other things that you could do is get your exercise in. If you have a pet, walk the dog. Get your exercise in that way. Meditate while you're walking. Find ways to work meaningful activities into your daily routine. A lot of people are still working from home. I just said to my boys, who are doing laundry right now, by the way, hey, let me know when you're done with the washer and dryer because I need to throw a load of clothes in. If you need to throw a load of clothes in the washer while you're working, or if you need to walk on the treadmill while you're reading emails, if you need to put music on your ears to relax you while you're doing something else, work that meaningful time, that free time. Balance that time out. Fourth thing, network with other parents. Guess what? That's what the Single Moms Hub is all about. Networking with other parents, connecting with other parents. No man is an island. When I was a single parent, I had a very small support system. I had my dad, I had my best friend, and honestly, that's really about it. And so I didn't want to wear them out. And so I didn't really know a whole lot of single parents back then. That was 30 plus years ago. So I didn't really know a whole lot of single parents. Plus I had my own issues that I was dealing with the stigma of becoming a single parent at the age of 28, because people were saying, you ought to know better. Yeah, I lived through all of that. Trust me. It's a lot more acceptable now to be a single parent because some people are single parents by choice. I lived through all of that stigma. Guess what? I didn't hold it against anybody though. But connect with other parents. One of the reasons why I started the Single Moms Hub, which meets on the first and third Saturdays. Shameless plug. We'll be meeting this Saturday at 11:30 a.m. And if anybody's interested in connecting with us, email me and I'll get that information to you. But we are a community of other single moms that just talk about all things single mom. We do things together that's important to single moms. So network with other single parents, bond with other single parents, spending time with single parents that you have things in common with. My objective when I started the Single Moms Hub was that we would be a community of women or a community of parents that leaned on each other outside of a meeting. If I had something going on, even though I'm not a single parent, or if one of the other single moms had something going on that they needed somebody to support them in, they could pick up a phone, email, or text and call another one of the Single Moms Hub members and say, hey, I've got this issue. Can you help me out? That's what networking is all about. Fifth, find people that care about you and your child or your children. As I said, I had a very small support system when I became a single parent. Well, um, using that small support system was so valuable to me. At the time, my dad and I were sharing a house, and there were times when he would hear my daughter crying in the middle of the night, and he would know that I had been up for so long because I went back to work when she was 3 months old, but he would know that I would be tired because I was in school and I was working and all of those things. And he would just come and say, hey, you want me to take the baby for a little bit so you can get a nap? Guess what? My daughter is not a single mom. She does have a husband, but sometimes she comes and they stay at our house. And if I hear baby crying, I get up in the middle of the night and do the same thing for her. But find those people who may say, hey, I'm going to come and hang out at your house for a little while, or that you can ask, can you hang out at my house for a little while so I could take a bath? That may sound funny, but truthfully, you need that. And I keep bringing up the bath analogy because that's one of the luxuries that we don't often get. The other thing that I used to say is I haven't had a hot meal in 5 years, because every single time I sit down with a hot plate of food, something happens and I would have to tend to something else related to my daughter. I didn't despise those days though, because she was my daughter and I loved her. The fifth, find ways to save time. That's number 6. Find ways to save time. Collaborate with other mothers. I talked a little bit about that already. If there's another mother that have a service that they offer that you may be able to benefit from, barter for services. Hey, I'll do this for you if you can do this for me. That's what networking is all about. Find ways to save time. As I talked about earlier, double dip. While you're running and getting your exercise in, or as you're walking the dog or whatever, go ahead and do a little bit of meditation. Put on your running shoes so that you can get that little jog in. These are just simple suggestions. Be creative. Find time to be creative. Number 7, sign your child up for activities that you and they enjoy. Now, as I was talking earlier about me training for that marathon at the YMCA, as I was talking to my trainer one day, we were just kind of shooting the breeze, and they started telling me about all of the things that the YMCA offered that I had no knowledge of. My daughter got an opportunity to play bitty basketball. She got an opportunity to learn how to swim. She got an opportunity to take dance classes. There were a variety of things that I was able to sign her up for that she could take part in while I was training in the gym or on the track. So find things that are low to no cost that you can sign your child up for. You may want to sign them up for a reading group at the library. If you enjoy reading, sign them up for a reading group at the library. My youngest son, who's now almost 15, he'll be 15 next month, he loves anime. He found an anime club at the library that he would go to. And unfortunately, COVID kind of shut that down. But there are plenty of things that you can find that your children may enjoy. And for that hour or hour and a half, you can either find a book to read, run to the store. Don't leave your child there for longer than they need to be there, though, because you're not looking for a babysitting service. But find those things that can create some balance for you. And last but not least, don't pack too much into your free time. Oh my goodness. I can't emphasize that enough. I didn't learn it until after I had my fourth child. I was always trying to have my house immaculate. When I had my second child, by then I was married, and my husband said, I know you're going to be going back to work soon. He hired me a housekeeper to come in and clean once, I think it was once a week or once every other week. Well, my silly self, I would clean the house before the housekeeper get there because I didn't want the housekeeper to see my house dirty. Yeah, you see my face. That was me. I was crazy. But the point that I'm making is a friend of mine said to me one day, she happened to be at my house, and this was after I had my fourth child. And she said, "What are you doing?" I said, "I'm just doing a little cleaning up." She said, "Well, where are the kids?" I said, "They're taking a nap." She said, "Don't you think you should be taking a nap too?" I think my youngest son might have been, I had just come home from the hospital. So he was like maybe a couple of weeks old. She said, "Don't you think you should be taking a nap?" Because I had three children in 4 years. So the oldest of that second set of kids was, I think she might have been 3.5, 4 years old. She might have been like 4 years old. She said, "Don't you think you should be taking a nap?" I was like, "Nope, I got to wash dishes. I got to do this. I got to do that," because my husband was at work. She said, "Take a nap. Nobody's going to judge you because your house is a little messy. You have three young children and a teenager. So don't try to pack too much into that free time. When your kid is taking a nap, take a nap with them. When there are things that you can multitask, and I hate the word multitask because it doesn't accomplish much. But if you can do two things at one time, give yourself, do yourself a solid and balance out your time by making sure that you don't put too much into your free time. If that means just while your kids are watching TV, sit down with a book, prop your feet up, put your feet in a hot tub of water, whatever you need to do to get you some me time, some quality time. That's what you need to do. And if you need more suggestions, why don't you come on over to the Single Moms Hub this Saturday? We're going to be talking about this in more detail. We're going to talk about different ways that other single moms create a balance as being a single parent. So if you're interested in joining the Single Moms Hub, go right on over to our website at oasisempowermentzone.com. Click on the Single Moms Hub. My engineers put up our information on the screen with our Cash App because, if you'd like to make a donation, feel free to do so as well. Our phone number and our website is on the screen. Connect with us. We're on all the social media platforms as well. But by all means, if you want to connect with the Single Moms Hub, go to our website, click that button, fill out that form, and I'll send you all of the information about the Single Moms Hub. This is Ruby Powell with Oasis Live, and I'll see you on the first Wednesday in February. Love and blessings to you.